reliable if you want to like order your figures that you can't find at like your local Walmart or Target or wherever. Just use this. I use it. I'm still waiting 3 goddamn months.
Make sure, double check you didn't pay for a pre-order of one that doesn't release yet. That's one. Because I usually use Big Bad Toy Store for my toy delivery. And a lot of times the one you're looking at is pre-sale. And then two, make sure it wasn't a dummy website, because there's a lot of dummy copycat websites out there that just steal your information and credit card and stuff when you order through them and they look like the actual real store. There's like 10 fake Walmart websites.
Yeah,
Like
well,
10 of them.
luckily, I didn't use an actual credit card or what's the other one called? Debit card. I used a gift card. So yeah.
But you received a confirmation email?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So
All right,
apparently
we're ready.
Okay.
Tell me after. Tell me
Yeah.
after.
Okay.
We'll save this conversation for another
Mute.
time. What's good, people? What's going on? Welcome back to the Snug Wrestling Podcast. My name is Edgar. I'm the host, and we have action-packed Snug Wrestling review for you guys today because the WWE is throwing a whole bunch of stuff at us from this episode of Monday Night Raw. They're setting up their Night of Champions pay-per-view, Saturday night's main event. They're all women's PLE Evolution, and also SummerSlam. So we're going to go over what took place tonight on Monday Night Raw and what all this means and what is going to be leading to and what we expect to see in the near future. So what's up, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
Yeah.
Really good. Pretty mostly decent episode of Monday Night Raw, I feel. And we wound up getting one of the rumors to be true tonight that we're going to get into. That was probably the only sore spot of the show for me, to be honest. But
yeah, unfortunately, yeah, we're gonna get into all that stuff. So yeah, let's jump straight to it because Dom and Liv were also all over the show, and this kind of took me back to a couple years ago when the Judgment Day were known to always start Monday Night Raw. For it seemed like every single week, or like yeah, the Judgment Day, they're always starting off Raw. Typical Monday Night Raw, you know. So yeah, they started off, and it was basically, again, we saw the beginning of Monday Night Raw was a lot of women. We had the Queen of the Ring matches. So this was, again, to hype up Night of Champions, Queen of the Ring, but also the Evolution pay-per-view, which is going to be the same weekend as Saturday night's main event, July 13th. Saturday night's main event is going to be July 12th. So we got a lot of stuff to look forward to. So let's get started with the Fatal 4-Way. The women's Queen of the Ring matches. We saw a returning Asuka, who, thanks to Rhea Ripley, ended up winning. It was only right that she came out, Rhea Ripley would come out and get some payback on Raquel Rodriguez. And that caused Raquel Rodriguez to be taken out of the match, which left Asuka, giving her the open door to take advantage and advance in the women's Queen of the Ring. It's been 14 months since we've seen Asuka. I'm pretty sure this is her first time on Netflix ever since she's been injured, if I'm not mistaken. So that was really cool to see. But what were you guys' thoughts on this, the outcome, and everything that we saw in this opening match, Mr. Bludd?
One, awesome to see Asuka back. I said this to my wife when we were watching the match. I cannot believe that is a woman in her mid-40s. She moves like a 25-year-old. It's insane. Asuka is incredibly talented. When I looked at a lot of these women's wrestlers who are up there in age, like, I'm not a fan of Natalya anymore. She's just worn on me over the last near 20 years. But when she's in the ring, she still moves crisp for a woman in her 40s. Shayna Baszler in her 40s moves like a 25-year-old MMA fighter. You look at someone like Kyrie, who's almost 40. She's like 37. Moves incredible. Like Becky, Bayley, Charlotte, all near 40-year-old women. These women are at the peak of their game. And seeing someone like Asuka, who was gone for about 13 months, actually. So a correction, they're not 14, but 13. However, it feels like she hasn't been gone that long. I personally thought she went out on injury last year in like the fall. They're saying 13 months. I'm like, hold up. Wait, what? It's been over a year. But time flies when wrestling's really good, and we're kind of in a period now where it's a little lulling. But this match, I thought, was really well worked. The crowd didn't give it much. I thought it should have gotten more than it gotten. However, Asuka did get that nice pop on her return, and the crowd was here for her. She looked great. And I'm glad Rhea came out. We keep that continuity with Rhea's consistent problems with Raquel over several years. People forget these two have been having a problem with each other since Raquel was the face and Rhea was still a heel. So they used to butt heads all the time. Back when they were really booking Raquel as a monster, she was the one person Rhea just couldn't seem to get past. Like, she was the roadblock for Rhea. A lot of people forget those story threads. So it was nice to see that lead into the finish, where I think the right person won. I think Asuka needed a strong showing on her return, and this was the right call.
Yeah, I agree. It's great to see Asuka back. She got injured around Backlash time last year, if I'm not mistaken. The match was amazing. For me, the only two that made sense to win were Stephanie Becker. Holy crap, I almost turned into Snug and mispronouncing her name. And okay, shut up, Nikki Bella. And and Asuka, because she's just coming back. You don't want her to lose and then get rid of her momentum that she has as she's returning. And Stephanie Becker, because she is super fucking over right now. The only two that didn't make sense is Raquel and Ivy, because Triple H, I don't know why, but Triple H just said, fuck Ivy. And then Raquel, obviously, Rhea was going to interfere. So I thought this match was personally good. Not that it was bad, but there were some slight issues I had with it, but just don't ask me, because I'm not going to point them out. I'm not going to be hypocritical in any way.
Feels good to have Asuka back, man. It really does. I do hate how they announced her back. It's just, all of a sudden she's in the King of the Ring tournament. She's in the Queen of the Ring tournament. I'm like, why? Why is this how you announce one of the biggest damn returns that's been out for over a year? How is this how you're going to bring that up? Okay, I will say that's funny. That makes me chuckle a little bit. But my point here is that it should not be a way to randomly say, hey, she's back. Like, you didn't really put out anything else, really. I mean, there was that video package last week, but other than that, us knowing that she returned came from seeing the bracket. And it sucks that that's how her return was announced. Because I honestly feel like it should have been so much more of a big deal than it seems like it was.
Yeah, the biggest takeaway for me for this one is the fact that we're going to get Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. We've seen this match before, but now they're giving it more attention. They're giving it the attention that it deserves, I think. Because the last time they kind of just had some throwaway matches. It didn't really mean a whole lot. But now they're building to something. Now they're getting personal. Now they're getting serious. So yeah, that's one of my dream matches in the women's division is Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez, but in a more like bigger stage. So that's what my favorite part of this opening match for Queen of the Ring. So now we have the 4 semifinals, the 4 competitors. We're gonna get Roxanne versus Jade Cargill. I believe that's gonna take place on SmackDown if I'm not mistaken. And then next week on Monday Night Raw, we have Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. Mr. Bludd, do you guys want to give some quick predictions for these matches? Who do you guys think we'll see at the finals? Not who's going to win it, but who's going to advance next? What do you guys think?
You're talking about this Friday or next week? Jade. I think I got Jade. And I definitely think it's got to be Asuka. She just came back, and I love Alexa, but how the hell does Alexa get past Asuka?
I don't. I want to say Jade, and by the way, that match is next week on Raw. I want to say Jade, but something just tells me Roxanne has something up her sleeve. So I'm gonna go Roxanne, and then I'm gonna say Asuka because once again she's just returning. What a better way than to insert her in the Queen of the Ring tournament to put her more over.
As much as I would love to say Roxanne talks, I can't. I just can't.
Okay, good for you.
The bigger match here is Asuka versus Jade Cargill. She calls herself the Storm. Asuka calls herself the Empress of Tomorrow. Why not put those two against each other? I'm going with Asuka and Jade Cargill to hit the finale.
All right, sounds good, Ja. We'll see what happens with that. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I have a feeling Roxanne is gonna pull some shit on Jade Cargill. I don't think Jade Cargill is ready to be Queen of the Ring or to be having any title matches, to be honest. So I'm gonna go Roxanne versus Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss also just came back not that long ago, so that's what I got. We'll see what happens, you guys. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Even though Green Bay, Wisconsin was really happy, they seem to pop big, but a lot of people online, including myself, were not very happy that the rumors are true. It's Goldberg, y'all. That's what's next for Gunther at Saturday night's main event. Goldberg made the challenge, and we're going to be seeing Gunther versus Goldberg for the World Heavyweight Championship because it started in Atlanta, so it must end in Atlanta, according to Goldberg. Damn it, y'all. I was hoping that the rumors were just rumors, but nope, they came true. Toxic, as a younger wrestling fan, how did you feel about seeing Goldberg come back, and what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so first off, I've watched some of the older stuff, so screw you. Okay, anyway. Okay, shut up, Nikki Bella. Anyways, I have this feeling that actually no, it's not even a feeling. Gunther's title reign, to me, feels like his last one. He's gonna get this person, they're big, they're hot right now. They're like, okay, everyone's thinking that they're next, they're first in line for Gunther. And then I have the feeling that Gunther's gonna beat Goldberg, and then his next opponent is going to be his last good title match as a good champion, in my opinion. Gunther's last reign sucked. I have a feeling this one's also going to suck, as I said last week. Goldberg coming back. Goldberg, please just take the title from him, please.
Tox, no. No. You may say yeet right now. I'm going no yeet. Goldberg does not need that title. If anything, this is his retirement match. Like, you may say in which you said it before the podcast started, you think that this isn't going to be their only match. I do. I think this will be their retirement match. As Goldberg said, it started in Atlanta, so it's ending in Atlanta. There's only one thing that we just have to hope doesn't happen. Hey, Goldberg, don't fucking injure Gunther this time. You have a habit of injuring almost every person you go up against in some sort of way. Don't do it this time. Please. We do not need another man injured by a Goldberg match. Please don't do that.
Yeah, he was about an inch and a half away from turning The Undertaker into a real dead man. Look, as far as it's concerned, I have been the biggest critic of this on the panel for a while now, at least 2 weeks when it was looking like this was what we were getting. I even did an entire video on the Snug Wrestling Podcast, wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify. I am doing a cheap plug here, but we did a whole episode for it on the Blood Drop, my segment. It is there where I broke this down as to why they took the title off of Jey Uso, and it was for this. The one fucking match that doesn't need a title. Why do you need the championship on Gunther to make this feel like a bigger match between the two of them? We already know that Goldberg is winding down his career. We already know that Goldberg is supposed to be retiring. Why on earth does this match need a title? The biggest attraction of this match is that it's apparently Goldberg's last match. That's selling the ticket right there. There you go. That alone. Hey, I want to see Goldberg's last match. I've been watching Goldberg wrestle since WCW, and I want to take my family to see it, or my son to see it, my best friend to see it, because we grew up on wrestling together. Yada, yada, yada. You just sold like 8,000 tickets on that match alone for everybody who wants to be in the building for his last apparent match. Why does it need the title? That's not going to sell more tickets. It's not. I got news for you. And whether people want to admit this themselves or not, we love Gunther. He's fantastic. He's not a draw. Gunther is not a draw. I'm sorry. He's not. No one ever said, God, man, I got to fly all the way to WrestleMania, spend $10,000 this weekend to see Gunther wrestle. No one ever said, man, I just spent $5,000 in merch over the weekend and went to Fan Access just for Gunther. Gunther is fantastic. He has no crowd connection. He is not over like Jey is. He's not over like most of the guys in the roster. He's just the monster that's great at wrestling. That's it. He's the ring general. That's his thing. I'm sorry, but he's not fucking selling thousands of units of merch. He's not filling up buildings on his name alone like Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes or CM Punk. He's not a draw. Why put the title back on him? If it's about business, it was a wrong business decision. Okay? No one asked for this fucking match. We had that segment last year between these two. You know what no one said between now and then? Oh, man, it's WrestleMania time. Man, I'm really hoping they're going to put that Gunther and Goldberg match together by SummerSlam. I've been chomping at the bit for that one. Not a goddamn person. You know why? Because most people forgot about that segment because it was throwaway. No one remembered it because it happened fucking like 8 months ago. Who cares? We don't need this. No one asked for this shit. If you ask me, they ruined their opportunity to do a great cash-in last Monday. That would have been a legendary cash-in. You ask me, Goldberg needs to take the title off of Gunther, or Gunther needs to beat Goldberg, and Seth cashes in immediately on whoever wins. And he gets the title. Just get it off Gunther.
So I'm afraid that Toxic is right. This might not be Goldberg's final match, because if it was, I don't think the main point of the match would have been the title. If this was going to be Goldberg's last match, it wouldn't need a title. It would just be Goldberg's last match. So unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see the last of Goldberg anytime soon, but we'll see what happens with that. That's one of the matches that was announced tonight for Saturday night's main event, July 12th. And another match that was announced for, I believe it was also, no, sorry, this match was actually announced for Night of Champions, AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. This is one of the ones that I'm actually looking forward to because of, they've been building up to this for a few weeks now. And I'm interested to see how this is going to play out, because can you guys imagine if Dominic Mysterio actually beats AJ Styles at Night of Champions? Like, that would be a pretty big deal for Dom's Intercontinental Championship reign, which, by the way, he's been champion since WrestleMania for 57 days now. The same day that Jey Uso won the title, Dom won his title too, but Dom is still champion and Jey Uso isn't. No, yeet, let's go.
Shut up.
However, in all seriousness, I'm really looking forward to this match. Dominic Mysterio is going to defend once again. Any thoughts on this announcement for AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio? Who's up?
May. Not surprising. It's really not. Because these two have had issues for the past few weeks. Hell, even longer than that, past few months at this point. But you're going to bring up the fact that Dom is the Intercontinental Champion still since WrestleMania. Hey, Bludd, how about you answer me this one? How many times has Dom actually defended it?
I want to say he just defended it at Money in the Bank, and he defended it, I want to say, one more time before that. So I want to say twice since WrestleMania.
Twice in a 56-day reign. Twice.
To be fair, so did Jay in a 51-day.
You do have a point, unfortunately. But
Shut up.
The point here still stands. He's hiding behind the Judgment Day a little bit, especially when it comes to dealing with AJ Styles. As soon as these issues started, his immediate response was, "Hey, Balor, you have a history with AJ Styles. Can you deal with this, please?" And then when that failed, he went to JD McDonough. Good old bobblehead over here. And that failed. And now he finally has to deal with AJ Styles himself. The big question here is, can he actually do it? Because of the fact that he's been hiding behind the other two and having them deal with his issues.
So I think it's going to be a really good match. There's one thing that Dominic has consistently proven over the last 5 years is that boy can learn, adapt, and get better. He is a sponge. He's highly underrated. His match at Money in the Bank against, if my memory serves, was it Vikingo? Was that the guy
Octagon
who
Jr.?
Octagon Jr. Octagon Jr., his match with Octagon was fantastic. And here's the best thing about that match. He basically he was literally in control that entire match. The only reason Octagon lost is because of Liv, but Dom never asked her to cheat. And when she got up on the apron, she didn't touch him. She just stood there. He took his eyes off of Dom, and it cost him. Dominic really won that, in my opinion, on his own merit, and he was showing out. He's proven that he can be a fighting champion. Hell, he's the one who offered the title match to Octagon Jr. He said, "I'll see you at Money in the Bank for this." Sounds to me like dude grew a set. But you know the one thing I've noticed about the Judgment Day? Every single time one of them gets a title, they act like they're in charge. It happened with Rhea, Happened with Damian Priest. Now it's happening with Dominic. Every time they get a little bit of gold, they get a big, big head. God forbid JD McDonough ever win a title. Otherwise, you're going to have to take the roof off the stadium. But as far as it's concerned, I think this is really good. It's showing further cracks. We got more out of it because Dom's like not even asking these guys to take care of AJ. He's setting them up to and then telling them after. So it's the, he told JD after, no, I got you the match, that's on you. So I like how this is going. I think it's going to be really fun. And honestly, I'm okay if Dominic retains because he's great with the championship right now and he's over as hell with it. But if AJ wins it, I think AJ is going to do a great job with it. You're talking about a future 2-time Hall of Famer, one across TNA and probably in WWE. I think you win either way with these guys, but I'm excited for it.
Shout out to Luis Bruss says Dom is about to shock the world. I believe that. Go ahead, Tux.
I'm actually excited for this match because in my opinion, it's been weird not seeing AJ Styles hold a title. And is that only me or Bludd agrees? Okay. Yeah, I find it weird that AJ's not holding a title. Like he not saying he looks ugly or anything, but he looks weird without a title. AJ is one of those ones that like, oh, sometimes he looks good without one. Oh, sometimes that boy needs a title or else he's not going to look good.
He has a prestige to him is what you're trying to say. He feels like a champion at all times.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know because Dom is doing a good job as Intercontinental Champion. Even though he's defended only twice. But yeah, I'm excited for this match. The match between AJ and JD McDonough was really good, technically speaking. You know what? That's just gonna end my turn because of that.
I'm pretty sure we can all agree if we can all move like that at fucking 48, we absolutely would.
Yeah. Shit, if I wish I wish I still have the amount of hair he's got at 48.
That was it.
All right. Another match that that was announced. We saw Bayley come out on Monday Night Raw and she called out Becky Lynch. So we saw Bayley and Becky face to face. A lot of history between these two. They go way back. They're pretty much they're future Hall of Famers in the women's division. They have all the accolades. They have all the experience, and the people, they know they're big stars than WWE. But I don't really care too much. Not even Bayley makes me care about Becky at this point, unfortunately. But their match was announced for next week on Monday Night Raw as well, and it's going to be for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Do you guys have any thoughts? Anything you guys want to share about the build-up for these two? What do you guys think?
I'll say this without it taking my turn for the actual thing I want to fucking talk about. I'm just going to say this. This promo segment was great, while also being not great. The amount that they tripped over themselves and cut each other off. I feel like they were mistiming their responses. And the crowd was in it, then out of it, then in it, then out of it. They had to stop, start, walk around each other. It felt a little awkward. That being said, I agree with you. I don't buy Bayley when she's cutting babyface promos. I don't know why. I just don't. I never did. I don't ever buy her babyface shtick. Just like I don't buy Becky's heel shtick. I feel like they just don't make sense swapped. They're both stronger when Bayley is a heel and Becky is a face. That's all I'm going to say. This match will be wrestled incredible, but my heart's not in it yet. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Thanks, Mr. Bludd. All right, let's move on because we were supposed to get a match between Kairi Sane and Liv Morgan. But something really weird happened during this match. This match ended up getting called off. And I mean, I've watched the replay several times. It turns out that Liv Morgan might actually legit injured herself during this match, which, if this is a real injury, the timing couldn't be worse because they have Evolution coming up. You know, she's a one half of the women's tag team champions. If she's really injured and she's going to be out for a while, I mean, she was even shooting a movie. I don't know if she still has to do that, but as soon as the match started, Liv Morgan rolled out of the ring. And the thing that told me that this was actually real wasn't the replay. It was the fact that when someone usually gets injured in a WWE match, they don't show them on camera. They keep the camera off of them, and that's what they did with this, which that pretty much told me this could be a real situation. But was this a thing you wanted to start on, Mr. Bludd? What do you think about this?
So this was definitely a shoot injury. The moment she landed, I saw her arm jiggle in a way that is not supposed to jiggle. To me, it looked very reminiscent of damn near a tricep injury. The way her elbow slammed into the mat like that, I saw the base of her elbow directly underneath the bottom portion of the tricep right here where the tendon would connect. And it just shook like jello, which you'd think, oh, that's skin. But there was a little vibration underneath that jello shake. And it was the exact same way I remember seeing CM Punk's arm look when he took the future shock at the Royal Rumble when he blew his tricep. So I'm hoping to God she didn't either crush her elbow and detach that. But I knew it was legit the moment I saw it, because with the moment she hit, Kyrie tried to dive for a headlock over her back, and she scooted under to get the hell out of it to roll out of the ring, and she started protecting the hell out of her arm until she could tell the ref this was legit to get Kyrie to back off. And I don't have commercials on Netflix. We know that. So I get to see all the in-between action. I don't get ads. So I get the full 2.5-minute breaks where the action is still happening in the ring. And the entire 2.5-minute break of the ad segment, they kept the camera literally for about the first 2 minutes from an audience perspective. And then the ring is 300-400 feet down. You just see Kyrie jogging back and place and forth waiting. And they don't show us Liv until 30 seconds before the commercial comes back. And they call the match off in the commercial break. Kyrie tries to keep the fans entertained. They applaud for Liv because she's hurt. This was legit. She was cradling her arm. She was fucking crying. It sucks, man. And I'm worried about her, obviously, more than I am about her match against Nikki Bella. But I feel bad for her because they just started building that feud last week, and it looked like she was going to get a one-on-one match against Nikki, possibly at Evolution. And she's been putting in a lot of work for the last year and a half. The girl has been on game, top form. This couldn't come at a worse time. So I hope it's nothing that could keep her out for a prolonged period of time. That maybe they can still keep her on TV just in a non-active role with the Judgment Day to keep that story pushing forward.
No.
New era.
New era.
New era.
It definitely, like I think Michael Cole said this, or Corey, I don't know who. But it didn't look like it was anything on Kyrie's part. It looked like Liv just landed wrong. So we at Snug Wrestling, wish Liv Morgan for a speedy recovery. Yeah, I thought we were gonna get a lot out of this match. Probably maybe like a Nikki Bella interference. We probably were gonna get that, but that had to happen, which that kind of made me mad. I don't know why, because I don't really like Liv Morgan, her character, not her. But yeah, it just made me mad a little.
There are two sides of this. On one hand, the first thing that popped into my head was, how does Karma feel? You did the same thing to Rhea Ripley. That was the first thing that popped into my head. As soon as they said that that her shoulder popped out, that was the first thing that popped into my head. On the other hand, I am seriously worried. Because just like with Rhea was out for 3-4 months? Maybe a little bit longer than that. While we're in between, Bludd, I'm going to correct you on something. Stratton did, in fact, have a defense since Nia. It was Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania.
I know.
Because you said Nia was our last.
Yeah, Tommy.
We were in between. Shut up. So, I will now continue. All right. So, on the other hand, I am seriously worried. Like I said, it took Rhea Ripley about 3 months to come back after Liv screwed up her shoulder. CM Punk still had appearances with the tricep, although he was still in a sling at that point. But I'm still worried about Liv. I really am. I'm just worried that she's not going to have any in-ring action for a bit. And the reason why I'm worried about that is because she's so damn good. Love her or hate her, she's still so damn good in that ring. It's not even funny. She is phenomenal in the ring. On the mic, she's great at both. And that's why I'm worried about this. Because she is absolutely amazing in the ring. I'm a little bit worried that we won't get that again for another 3-4 months.
Yeah, we'll see how bad, I'm sure we'll find out how bad that injury is going to be. So we'll see. Hopefully, Liv Morgan, she doesn't go away for that long. Speaking of matchmaking, we saw the weekly backstage segment with Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn. And this time, it got a little real, y'all. Because Karrion Kross was, doing his usual mind games, trying to come at Sami Zayn like, hey, you're going up against Randy Orton on Friday, my guy. You are you're fucked. There's no way you're going to beat Randy. You're going to lose again, like always. Sami Zayn fired back and he was like, wait a minute. This guy, you're the one that's always in catering. You're always hiding back here. You're never out there in the ring like I am. When are you going to go throw yourself out there, huh? Let's see you do what I do. And Sami Zayn finally announced that after the King of the Ring, whatever happens, he's going to go to Adam Pearce and he's going to make a match official between himself versus Karrion Kross. So we're finally going to see Karrion Kross wrestle on TV for fucking feels like forever. But not only that, I was excited about, what they said to each other. The fact that we're going to see Karrion Kross wrestle soon, hopefully soon. But it's also against Sami Zayn, which is a pretty big deal in the WWE. Love him or hate him, Sami Zayn is one of the most loved baby faces in the company. So this is a great look for Karrion Kross. I hope this is a beginning of a lot for, Karrion Kross in the future, because I hate to say it, but I'm afraid this could be another R-Truth situation. We're going to, put you on this really good spot on the card, and we're going to put you versus one of our top guys, and then you're gone. So I don't know, man, but hopefully this is the start of something great for Karrion Kross. What are you guys' thoughts on this match, this potential match with Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross? Tox, I believe you're up.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I do think Karrion Kross is the way to get Sammy out of the whole Seth, Bronson, and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman. I think that Karrion is the way to get Sammy out of that story, which I kind of don't like him in that story. I did like Sammy in the story with all of them, but now I don't really like it as much. So I'm glad they're trying to go this different direction. Hopefully that's what it is. And I'm just excited we're gonna see Karrion Kross wrestle on like Raw. He's been on main event for like since he wrestled AJ. It was either the Raw before Mania or after. I'm glad we're gonna see him on actual TV and not on main event.
All right. Here we go. His wording. I think I know what's happening with his match against Randy. I don't think Sammy's winning. I think Randy Orton will be going to the finals here. And I think through that, my guess, my hope, because I could see this being a really big match, my hope is still SummerSlam. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross at SummerSlam. First 2-night SummerSlam, too. That will absolutely put butts in seats right there. So that's how I think that's going to go down. I think Randy Orton is beating Sami Zayn. Randy's going into the finale. And then Karrion Kross goes against Sami Zayn at SummerSlam.
I like the segment. I like that they're utilizing Kross. I am of the same mindset in a way, Snug, that I am worried that he'll get released randomly. I'm hoping that because Triple H is actually trying to utilize him now, that won't happen. But we have to see. I do like that he's basically giving Sammy the implication that you don't got what it takes to beat Randy. And he's basically trying to call Sammy a choke artist, even though at least in order to be a choke artist, you actually have to make the attempt to choke, which is how Sammy flipped it back on him. He's like, yeah, I lose, but I get back up and I go back out there. What's your excuse? So I like how he's making Karrion's booking his fault. But I will say this. I have a feeling that either Randy is going to somehow win or Karrion is going to cause Sammy to lose. That being said, I think this still culminates in Sami Zayn surprising us and turning heel. I think it still ends with Sammy even though he's trying to fight and resist everything Karrion is saying, we've seen this with Sammy before. He resists and resists and resists, whether he's a heel and he resists the drag and pull into the light by Kevin Owens, or he's trying to escape, but he gets pulled back in by his love for Jay. We've seen this where Sammy will resist for so long, and eventually he gives into whatever the thing is because he can't fight it forever. And I'm wondering if this is going to culminate in Sammy trying to resist Kross and Kross's ideology for as long as he can. And just when we think that Sammy has finally got out from under the shadow of Kross, he's going to surprise us in turn. And I think he's going to turn in a way that's going to hurt. I still nail to the cross on this, no pun intended, full-heartedly believe that Sammy is turning heel on Jay. I really do. And I think it happens sometime between now and SummerSlam, or fucking at SummerSlam. Because if Jay winds up winning King of the Ring and gets his rematch, then I think we know how SummerSlam ends. And I think Sammy is going to help Seth Rollins cash that fucking briefcase in at some point. I really do.
All right, y'all. I think it's time to talk about the main event. Because, boy, there's so much shit going on in this goddamn main event, you guys. We had Jey Uso. We had Sheamus. We had Rusev. We had Bronson Reed. And I should have known that Jey Uso was going to win this. But going into this match, I'm like, Jey Uso's fucked. All right? He's surrounded by a bunch of heavy hitters. Not only that, he's still taped up. He's still selling the injuries from the past 2 weeks. It's like, there's no way Jey Uso's winning this, but it is a fatal 4-way. It is no disqualification. So it took LA Knight. It took Penta. It took Sami Zayn. It took the interferences from Braun Breaker and not Bronson Reed. Yeah, it was just Braun Breaker, right? I was thinking there was like another guy in this group, but no. So we had all these interferences in this match. It's a crazy match. Jey Uso ended up getting the win, so he's advancing to the same semifinals. But I mean, as much as people want to say this was really predictable, this was still a fun match to watch because I wasn't actually sure if Jey Uso was going to be able to do it, but he was. So now we got the semifinals. We got Jey versus Cody, 2 former champions in the semifinals. And only one of them is going to make it. And we also got Randy versus Sami Zayn. But man, what a lovely main event for this episode of Monday Night Raw. I thought, like I said, a lot of shit going on here. But what did you guys see? What was your guys' major takeaway from this main event? Thoughts on this, fellas? Who's up?
Me.
All right, go ahead.
Right. So, before I put my thoughts on the match itself, Sid the Kid Wrestling on TikTok. I'm gonna correct you once again. You tried to correct me. I'm gonna come back with you with names this time. You tried to say that Bret Hart does not have 2 King of the Ring titles officially. I'm going to correct you on that. 1991, he beat Erwin Skyster to be King of the Ring. And in 1993, he beat Bam Bam Bigelow. There you go. 2-time, only 2-time. There you go. Now, I was watching Raw via a live stream from a TikToker known as Sid the Kid Wrestling. That's how I watched Raw tonight. When Michael Cole said, it does, because during it, Michael Cole brought up that Bret Hart is the only 2-time, and he said 1-time, so I was correcting him on that. But my thoughts on the match itself, I loved it. My only issue is how difficult the semifinal is going to be to call. We have a rematch against John Cena going up against a rematch against Gunther. Those are our options here. The biggest question, which rematch do you want more? Cody or Jey? That's the biggest issue here. I love the fact that Jey has gone through. I love it. But I'm afraid his ribs are still wrapped. I'm a little bit worried that he's losing to Cody Rhodes here. I just have this feeling that he will not be going through to the finals, and we will be getting Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Either one still going after John Cena. That's the issue here. That is the only issue I have. I'm just worried about Jay.
Thank you for that dissertation. And while we're talking about who's right and who's wrong, Tiffany Stratton's last title defense, buddy, was against Nia Jax on May 16th after WrestleMania. Anyway, as far as it's concerned, May 16th, buddy. But as far as it's concerned, I thought this main event was insanely good. Again, worried for Jay. I'll tell you my favorite thing about this match and my favorite thing after the match, because the match itself in between was just fantastic. Lot of great shit in there. Sheamus, super impressive on that white noise to Bronson. I was like, oh God, please let his knees stay strong. Don't buckle, don't pop. Like, I was like worried about Sheamus's knees. He's famous for having back problems and shit. And I'm just like, please. But let me tell you, my favorite thing in this match, that Jay was still selling the ribs. It is so important that he maintain the fact that he has been done damaged to for half a month, that he has been in battle after fight, after jump, after war with Gunther, and he is hurt. Jey Uso is hurt, but he is fighting. The most important thing Cody Rhodes ever said was, even when you're not the champion, even when you're not the guy, you need to act like you are. And that's what I like here about Jay's attitude. He still sold the injured ribs, the injured midsection. It's so important that no matter what his adversity, he still fought through to the victory. I thought that was a great choice. I thought it was a great way to keep his character strong, because yes, he lost last week, but he still won when it still mattered tonight, keeping his momentum. Massively important. That was my favorite thing about the match. My favorite thing after the match was the face-to-face between Cody coming out to save Jay from another ass whooping and Seth Rollins going, oh shit, why are you here? And Seth, who was once a friend of Cody, understand the history here. Understand the history here, guys. We haven't seen these two have friction yet since since Seth turned heel. You have to remember, they were mortal enemies that had a 3 fucking match goddamn program that Cody won all 3. During the goddamn Avengers Assemble of WrestleMania 40's main event, the thing that signed, sealed, and delivered Cody that WWE Undisputed Championship was Rollins sacrificing himself to distract Roman so Cody could hit the Trinity Crossroads. He blew his knee out, wrestled a whole match the night before with Cody against The Rock and Roman, then sacrificed himself in the beginning of the show, losing it to Drew, then still came out to eat his comeuppance to distract Roman one last time. This was literally Cody's shield a year ago. It's incredible booking that they are face to face right now for the first time since Seth turns heel. And Seth is shaking with such vitriol, such rage, because he wants to hurt Cody, but he knows just how good Cody is. But even more than that, I think there's a level of respect that Seth is angry Cody stopping him, and he doesn't understand why. Because to Seth, he's going, I insured your future. Why can't you insure mine? Why are you here? And I think that's going to be a great promo segment down the line. I thought, what a great way to sign off, because Cody didn't attack him either. There's respect there. There's a friendship there, but there's still a rivalry there. I think that was a great piece of writing for this. What an awesome part of the show.
Before I talk about the match, does anyone else feel the seeds for Survivor Series being played out? I feel it. I I'm actually not going to predict because then that would take too long. The match itself was great. There was so many times I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? Oh my God, Jay's being put in the accolade. Oh my God, rest in peace his torso. Sheamus, why do you have to beat the hell out of people's? That's not even a question. Sheamus beating the hell out of people's chests. Bronson Reed jumping on people. Rusev being.
How about that bicycle knee? How about that bicycle knee to get Jay out of the accolade? I thought he'd done broke Rusev's jaw.
That was amazing. I'm like, holy shit. Anyways, this match was amazing, and it is going to be difficult to call. Like Tommy said, it's going to be difficult to call this match. Jay versus Cody. They are former tag team champions, former tag team partners. I cannot pick a winner. If Snug said, okay, this isn't going to be the last thing. Who's going to make it to the finals? My answer would be, I can't pick. Because I like Jay and Cody equally. But I am going to be biased and say Jay. Because I don't think Sammy is going on either. And I would just like to see Randy versus Jay. That would be a pretty good match in my opinion. If Jay gets fully healed first, which by the time, I don't think so. Anyways, this was an amazing match.
I think what it comes down to is what's the bigger match? I mean, is it Sammy versus Jay? Former best friends? I mean, brothers, they're close still. Is it, Randy versus Jay? Is it Cody versus Sammy? I think it's Cody versus Randy. I think that's the bigger match. I think that match in the finals would be the bigger match, and I think Randy's going to beat Cody. That's what I think is going to happen. But we still got time. We got a lot to look forward to here, you guys. We got, all these matches that were announced tonight. We're building up to Night of Champions, Saturday night's main event, SummerSlam, and even Survivor Series. Now that we mentioned it, Evolution. So it's a crazy time right now in the WWE. But actually, before we get out of here, I do want to plug something. This Thursday, we're gonna be talking about Jey Uso, Mr. Bludd and I, on our one-on-one because. There was a post that has been going around by Yassine Claymore. Jey Uso is the most forced wrestler to get pushed to the main event since Big Dog Roman, and that got a lot of attention on the internet. So a lot of crazy comments, and me and Mr. Bludd, we're going to cover this. We're going to share our thoughts, our opinions.
We got a lot of thoughts about that.
Mm-hmm.
I will be doing a drop tomorrow, a little a deep dive into how important the Cody. Basically, the video will be how important the Cody versus Seth stare-off was tonight. That'll be the video to drop to the Blood Drop tomorrow. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Monday and Friday, after show reviews. As soon as the shows go off the air. During the week, you're going to get tons of reactions from Snug, from WWE content, soccer content, AEW content, live reactions, real time from Snug on the main channel. And then be sure every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, always tune into TikTok Live for me and Snug's one-on-ones together. But man, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug, folks.
Yeah, appreciate everyone that hung out with us, that commented, that shared, and all that good stuff. That was our Monday Night Raw review, the Snug way. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. Let's get out of here. No yeet. Bye.